Hey guys, Tennessee.Frank here. I'd like to just do a little video to address an issue that I'm seeing pop up on Facebook and YouTube both in comment sections. And primarily we've been talking about the Second Amendment, but this applies to all rights in general. And a lot of people are under the misunderstanding that our rights come from the government, that the government has granted us the right to keep and bear arms and the right to freedom of speech and freedom of religion. And, that nothing could be further from the truth. And I've went ahead and pulled up some websites here we're going to go over just real quick to kind of clarify this. I'll post links down below to these websites. This one here was interesting. Do our rights come from the Constitution? And he goes in to say it's commonly believed that our rights of the American people come from the Constitution. Nothing could be further from the truth. And he's correct. Rights do not come from the Constitution. We can go back to one of our founding documents here. This is the Declaration of Independence. And they basically outline that, it's time for us to separate from England. And they say here that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It also says here to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men. So what are the governments doing? Are they giving us the rights? No. They say these rights are endowed to us by our Creator. Whether you believe in God or not, I know I like to say God-given rights, but a lot of people, they don't believe in God. So, okay, it would be natural-born rights then. It's things you are born with simply by being a human being. And these rights not only apply to Americans, these are universal rights. They apply to every citizen on the planet. If you're born on this planet, you have these rights. Whether you have fought to secure those rights is another matter. There's a lot of dictatorships and a lot of governments that are not there to secure the rights that you were born with for the people. In fact, they do a lot to suppress these rights. But governments are basically there to defend our rights that we are already born with. You can go to the Bill of Rights here, and they give a little summary here. The Bill of Rights, which is basically, as they say here, it's a list of specific prohibitions on governmental power. It's not the government granting you rights. It's the Bill of Rights prohibiting the government from taking your rights that you already have. These are our rights here that are natural rights, and like the right to worship freely, the right to speak your mind. These are all rights you're born with, and they are protected by the First Amendment. They're not granted by the First Amendment. They're actually protected by the First Amendment. And here it even says Congress is prohibited from making laws establishing a religion or abridging freedoms of speech. We see the Fourth Amendment. We have a right to be secure in our own homes. And they are stopping the government from intrusion into our homes. Everywhere here you can see, if you read through the Bill of Rights, Congress shall make no law. It's not saying Congress grants you the right. It's saying they'll make no law against this right. Second Amendment, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. It's not saying that the Second Amendment grants you the right to keep and bear arms. It's saying this right that you're born with, your natural born right to life and to defend that life, shall not be infringed. Everywhere here, you see the right of the people. The right of the people. These are rights you have naturally from birth. No person shall be held to answer for capital or otherwise infamous crimes. That's your right. Fifth Amendment right. All these rights. Nowhere in here will you find anything where it says that the government grants you a right. It will say that the people have a right and the government shall not infringe on that right. I'd just like to make this clear. I'm not sure where people keep getting this idea that the Bill of Rights here are granting us any rights. The Bill of Rights do not grant us any rights whatsoever. They prohibit the government from taking our rights. This even started as far back as like the Magna Carta, when there were still kings. And you can read these links. I'll post them down below. But I just needed to get this out here and kind of wake people up to let them know our rights do not come from the government. Don't think that for a second. Don't think that the government has given them to us and that they can take them from us. The only way the government can take a right is if you choose to give it up to the government. You choose by your free will to give up a right. So we need to stand up for our rights because, like I always say, either we stand up for our rights or we can sit by and watch them go away. Y'all have an awesome day. Hope this has been helpful. We'll talk to you later. Tennessee Frank out of here.